It means that reality is fractal in nature. And basically, fractals are these patterns that repeat on all scales, right? Okay, this is Mike Sigula from TruthTheory.com and welcome to another episode of True Spirituality. This is my series on metaphysics, esotericism, mysticism and spirituality. And this is already episode 18, so if you are new here and you're interested in metaphysics, spirituality, consciousness, meditation, psychedelics, please subscribe. We're covering all sorts of interesting topics. So today I want to talk about this phrase, as above, so below. And we're going to describe a couple of examples of it in nature. So this phrase originally appears on emerald tablet, which is a Hermetic text often attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. And Hermetic teachings are linked to alchemy, astrology, and they date back to ancient Egypt and Greece. And we often hear about 7 Hermetic principles, and Hermetic philosophy is supposedly based on these 7 Hermetic principles. So, one of the books that is quite popular, the Kybalion, mentions 7 principles, and the second Hermetic principle is the principle of correspondence. As above, so below, as below, so above. So this principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between different levels of reality. Okay, so what it all means, really? It means that reality is fractal in nature. And basically, fractals are these patterns that repeat on all scales, right? And if you think about it, if reality is created or formed according to some kind of pulse ratio, like Fibonacci sequence, the golden mean, which is one of the patterns appearing throughout everything, right? Then if you have some pulse that creates reality or reality is formed from, it's like this self-replicating pattern visible in everything, then we might observe similar characteristics on all different levels, right? And this is more or less what this idea of correspondence and as above, so below describes. So think about this example. Let's say you are in the forest and you see individual trees, but then let's say you fly above the forest or inside the airplane and you see just plain green field, right? You don't see individual trees anymore, you just see green field. And the same happens when you zoom in on your head and you look at each hair, right? You see single hair pieces, you zoom out and you just see plain brown color, whatever, right? So this is an example of a fractal, actually. And this principle, as above, so below, you can see it on many different levels. And today I want to share with you 2 examples of that. Okay, so let me read this to you. An astrophysicist and neuroscientist teamed up to compare similarities between the universe and networks of neurons in the brain. Despite the substantial difference in scale, the 2 complex systems are strikingly alike. The researchers used a combination of methods from cosmology, neuroscience, and network analysis to quantitatively compare the 2, describing the human brain as a 3-pound universe may be closer to the truth than we thought. When scientists looked at the 2 of the most complex and fascinating structures known to science, the human network of neurons in your brain and the cosmic web of galaxies, the resemblance seemed uncanny. So this is a really good example. As above, so below. The same patterns reflect on different levels. Now, second example. So let's compare lungs and trees. So lungs and respiratory system allows us to breathe, right? They bring oxygen to the body, and we breathe out carbon dioxide, right? What about the trees? Trees not only resemble lungs, they often look alike. Some types of trees look very similar to lungs, but they also have the opposite function to what lungs do, to some extent, we could say that. So trees basically take carbon dioxide from the air and, using the energy of the sun, transform it into oxygen that we all breathe, right? There's this mutual relationship, and they have very similar functions. And you know, we say trees are the lungs of the planet, right? So these are just two examples of how this principle of correspondence, as above, so below, can be seen throughout the universe, right? And actually there are many more of these examples, but I just want to show you how it all works, right? All right, that's it for today. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this video. Check out Hermetic teachings, Hermetic philosophy. There's this book called the Kybalion that talks about Hermetic teachings, 7 principles. Subscribe on Patreon. You know, these videos are free, but thanks to people who support us, we can create content like this one. So check out patreon.com/TruthTheory, become a supporter there. And you can send me a message on Patreon. You can send me direct questions if you have some questions that you want me to answer directly. Check out different options there. And check out other episodes of True Spirituality. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this video. Share it if it resonates. Please share it with others on social media. And thanks for checking another episode of True Spirituality. Until next time.